Hello and welcome to the seventh episode of the Ruthless Dog and Pony Show. Yeah, there's no way I'm gonna get this right, ever. Seventh episode. My name is Julio. I will be your host for the presentation. I am the dream alchemist of Ruthless Painters, and the Ruthless Dog and Pony Show is a live and edited presentation / rambling featuring the conceptual and stylistic inspiration behind our painting webinars. So what we do is we introduce the premise, the painting premise for the next painting webinar. We talk about the inspiration behind it, and we mention contemporary or modern art notes, art history references, and we add a bit of commentary. So this time there is no disclaimer, so whatever. If you have any questions, just let us know. And if you would like to contribute to this presentation with your knowledge, we're welcome to any suggestions. So we'll present a few slides first, and then what we'll do is, if anyone is present at the Cricket Gallery, we'll take comments, questions, and we'll respond to that. We're going to keep it shorter than ever before. The seventh will be the shortest, which means hopefully under 10 minutes. So you'll be able to replay this on an Instagram post, and then we'll add it to our fantastic YouTube channel that has a lot of information. So yeah, let's get started. The painting webinar we are going to talk about, we titled it Nature MORTE, Nature VIVANT. Let me see if I can find the cover, or whatever it's pronounced. I'm going to explain the reason why we titled it this way. But this webinar is inspired by the work of an Austrian painter named Rudolf Vaca, who lived between the two world wars. And as you can imagine, he was really affected by all the craziness and upheaval and chaos, political, social, that happened between the wars. As an example, he was apprehended by the Russians at some point. We don't know exactly the backstory, but he was sent to a prison in Siberia where he spent 5 years. He survived and he was released, and then he moved to Berlin, which at the time was the capital of the art scene. So he was mainly a painter, and he started as an expressionist because that was the trend of the time. But he moved to create work in the style of what's called the new Objectivity. The new Objectivity was an art movement that was formed to protest expressionism, because they said expressionism was too anchored in individualism. So they wanted to create a movement that was more real to the needs, the social needs or the social lives of people, rather than just being channel for expression of personal emotions. It's a very interesting movement. There are a lot of painters that came out of that movement, and the main theme of the movement of the new Objectivity was to show a hidden reality behind the real. They were not interested in subjective imagination, but they just wanted to feature hidden realities behind the physicality of the objects. So Vaca became famous mostly for his doll paintings, and this is the cover of the webinar. We have been following his work for a while, and our favorite pieces are the figure, the dolls, the toys, the still lifes. We think they're incredible and very inspirational. So we wanted to do something about that. and that's why we're gonna use the doll paintings as an inspiration. We love them because they feature an ethos of existential misery. I just took that from somewhere online. It's not from my own harvest. He had numerous exhibitions throughout his life that culminated with his participation in the Venice Biennale of 1934. He died in 1939. So, and by the way, he died of a heart attack caused when, or which happened when he was being interrogated by the Gestapo, the Nazi police, who harassed him, had him on their list for being a suspect for whatever ideology. They broke into his house many times. So as a consequence of one of the interrogations, he suffered a heart attack and he didn't recover. He died. So he moved from the new objectivity. See, I just he moved from the new objectivity to a new style, or a style that he adopted or that he went into, called magical realism. And we love these two new terms for us, new objectivity and magical realism, because we feel that everything falls too easily into the category of figuration. And it's not really fair, because there are so many aspects and so many ways to use figuration in our work that we're always happy when we hear about movements that take figuration and then they create their own philosophy around it. So yeah, the magical realism was a term designated a style of visual art that brought extreme realism to the depiction of mundane objects. So the intent was to reveal an interior mystery rather than expressing ideas with external imagined features. That's what they wanted to do. They were simply interested in rendering objects, but in a way that made the scene feel like there was something enigmatic behind it. And I'm just going to bring an example. My face is covering the face of the figure, but these are two completely random objects put together, and there's no context in the background. There's no the insinuation that the background gives us a sense of where this happened and when this happened. So we're fascinated. It's almost like surrealism in a way. So the term was first coined by art critic Franz Raw in 1925, and in essence it celebrates the mundane. It uses various techniques, and we're going to talk about the techniques and the illusions that the painters used to create this sense of enigmatic narrative. So they wanted to provide a deeper meaning, an enigmatic narrative revealing mysteries that hoped to unsettle the tranquility of everyday existence. I'm just going to give you another example of another of his paintings. It includes more elements than just the doll or the figurine. But I'm going to end this presentation by one of the quotes by Rudolf Wacker. He said, "Somebody told me I showed the debris of bourgeois culture. This statement actually grasps the essence of my work." And we absolutely, this is the original painting or the image that we use as a cover. We love this idea of portraying or featuring the debris of bourgeois culture. So the painting premise for this webinar, we're going to ask you to bring two objects, or to set two objects for a still life. It's going to be a still life assignment. that's going to have one object that's going to be an anthropomorphic rendition of or an anthropomorphic figure in the shape of a toy or a figurine, a doll, a sculpture, but something that represents the human form that we may have around us. And I think we all have some sort of item that could fit that category. And then the second element would be a living organism, a plant. I think I didn't show this one. A plant or a flower. So those are the two elements. We're not going to work off of a photograph. We're going to set them up. We're going to work from live. And I think that's all I've got in regards of his work. Yeah, so the webinar is going to be live this Friday, tomorrow, but it's going to be also available if you want to do the webinar or the session anytime. So go to our website, rooflesspainters.com/webinars. You'll be able to sign up for it. We hope you can join us. It's going to be fun. Any level of experience is welcome. It doesn't matter what kind of style you painting you do. You're welcome to join us. We paint with oil, but some people use acrylic and some people use digital painting. Yeah, so Natur, MORTE, Natur, VIVANT, still life and living still life, because one object is dead and one object is alive. So what we're going to try to do is to get that mysterious, enigmatic energy that hopefully will happen when we combine two elements that have nothing to do. We hope you enjoyed this presentation, and we'll see you tomorrow or anytime. Bye.